Hi there, my name is Alesha and I'm here to guide you through a shorter practice that you can do while you're in bed. So you don't really have to do anything special if you're already there. If you have a couple extra pillows handy, that's great. You might notice that the sheets or the bedding might get in the way a little bit. So if that's the case for you, feel free to move it out of the way or get someone to assist you with that if possible. So often in our life, there are times when we're not 100%. So we might feel sick, or we might feel like we have something going on in our bodies, some pain or some injury, or maybe that's just the way we are and we can't get out of bed right now. Or it might be just a mental thing where we just don't feel like we have enough energy to get up and at it. So this is for those of you who feel like you need a little bit of something. It would feel good to get moving, but you don't necessarily want to or can get out of bed right now. So let's get started. So many of us, when we're laying down, it can feel nice to have a little something under the head. You might have a pillow there already, but if you don't, you could add a pillow or foam or something under your head if that feels comfortable for you. And just keep in mind during this physical practice, if you notice that you need to switch things up or change your position or change the posture, that's totally okay. And you can just rejoin whatever I'm doing whenever it feels right for you. So if you feel comfortable laying flat, go ahead. But sometimes it can be nice to bend the knees and allow your feet to press down onto the bed. And then let your hands rest wherever they feel comfortable. So if you have the space, your arms could go out to the sides a little bit, or maybe it feels comfortable to let your hands rest on your belly. And here you might choose to soften your gaze a little bit. Or maybe you close your eyes. And then see if you can start to notice where your head is supported and what your head feels like today. Notice if there's any parts of your neck touching the pillow or the support beneath you. And start to move down through the shoulders, your arms, your hands, and notice any sensations or feelings that come up there. Or sometimes we might not even have any feeling there at all. That's okay too. And then bring your attention down to the parts of the back that are touching your bed or the sheets beneath you. And notice what it feels like to allow your body to be supported. Allowing the hips to be heavy and supported, your legs, all the way down to the feet. And then see if you can notice your whole body and all the parts all together here. And there might be a lot of different sensations or louder or quiet ones. And all that's okay, all of that's allowed here. If it feels available to you, start to notice your breath. So as you breathe in, you might notice a gentle expansion of your chest or your belly or your back. And then as you exhale, everything softens, everything draws back in. And you might notice that there's a natural pacing to your breath. Or there might even be this feeling of texture to the breath. It could be smooth or wobbly. And then see if you could follow just 3 more breaths. And notice whatever way they are, you don't have to change them, they don't have to be special. Just stay with each one. When you feel ready, if your eyes are closed, start to open them a little bit. If your eyes are softened, open your gaze and let a little more light in. And we'll get into the movement and posture part of class. So we'll start with some smaller movements. Starting with the head, see if you could notice where your head is placed and see if you could bring it to the center. And then bring your gaze over to your right side. So it doesn't have to be a full range of motion. It can be a little nod over to the side, little rocking of the head. If it feels okay, you could twist all the way over. Then from here, bring your head back to center and look over to your left. Whatever degree of motion feels okay today. And then come on back. And then perhaps if you feel comfortable with the breath, you could add breath to the motion. So inhale to center. As you exhale, look over to your right. Breathe in towards the middle. And as you breathe out, look to your left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look left. And if your breath doesn't match mine, just breathe. It's all good. Come back to center, breathing in. And breathe out, look to your left. One more time. Inhale, center. Breathe out, look to your right. Inhale to center. And breathe out, look to your left. From here, come back to the middle. And then we'll start to wake up through our hands. So from here, you can bring your elbows bent and hands up towards the ceiling. And the upper arm bones are on your bed, but see if you can just draw some circles with your fingertips, moving the wrists around. And you might hear or feel some clicking and popping and all kinds of good stuff going on in there. And just make sure you're continuing with your breath. So if you're doing something else, that the breath is still going. We're not holding the breath. And then go the other way with the circles of the wrists. Just getting some fluid in the joints and blood moving, heart beating, and a little bit of energy flowing. From here, we'll do like a jazz hand kind of thing. So start to extend your fingers out wide, stretch through the palms, and then maybe even notice a breath in. Then as you exhale, close your hands. And we'll do that a few times. So inhale, open your hands. Exhale, close your hands. Breathe in, spread the hands out wide. Breathe out, close your hands. Just a couple more like that. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach your fingers out wide. Exhale, bring them in. And then from here, You can bring your hands in front of your chest with your hands clasped. And your shoulders are resting down in the bed, but arms are lifted a bit. Then from here, reach your knuckles towards the ceiling. And on your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead. So it could just be a little bit. You might even see your arms here, or they might go all the way overhead. Then as you exhale, bring everything back down. And you can even let your hands rest on your belly for a moment. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling, straightening the elbows, and then reaching your arms up to whatever degree feels right for you right now. As you exhale, let your arms lower down. Inhale, arms rise, reach. And exhale, let your arms come down. Again, inhale, arms reach. And as you go, you might start to feel different sensations throughout the shoulders of the arms. Exhale, lower down. And then one more time. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, come back down. You can unclasp the hands and then let that go. This time we'll do a little bit of a stretch. So we'll come into a version of eagle arms, which kind of looks like a hug. Crisscross your arms in front of you, so your right arm is under, and your hands might go to opposite elbows, or maybe you hold on to somewhere around your upper arms or your shoulders. And see if you could stay here for just 3 breaths. And then notice one more breath here. Let it go out. On your next inhale, reach your arms out and change the cross of the arm. So left arm under. Hands could go to elbows, upper arms, or shoulders. And stay here for 3 breaths. One more breath. One more exhale. Breathe in, reach your arms out, and let your hands come down. We'll move on now, starting to wake out throughout your hips. So start to bring your knees over to your right side, and then over towards your left side. So it's kind of like windshield wipers swishing from side to side, washing the rain away. And if you like, you could even start to move with your breath. Inhale, breathe into center. As you exhale, bring your legs over to your right, to whatever degree makes sense for you right now. And then breathe in, center. Breathe out. Bring your knees over towards your left side. It could be a lot, it could be a little, it's all good. Inhale, center. Breathe out to your right. And your hips might move, your back might move, it's all good. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Breathe into middle. Breathe out to your right. Inhale, back. Exhale, left. Inhale to the middle. Knees go right, breath out. Knees return to starting point, inhale. And knees go left, breath out. Come back to the center. This time we'll do a little hip stretch, so you can bring your right ankle over your opposite knee. And if your body isn't doing this today, that's okay. Just do whatever works for you right now. So you might notice a little stretch into the right hip or on the thigh. And then if you like, you could even add on by drawing circles with your right toe. So you might let your right ankle kind of hang off the edge a little bit of your left thigh. And then you'll get a little more motion there, drawing circles. And your right knee doesn't have to be totally out to the side. It can be whatever angle it lands at. And then draw circles the other way with your toes. Or sometimes they end up being like triangles or octagons or whatever shape happens. Making sure you're still breathing. And just a couple more rounds in this direction. From here, land your right foot down and we'll switch sides. Left ankle goes over opposite knee. And allow the foot and ankle to hang off the edge a little bit so you have a little more range of motion available. And start to draw circles with your toes on the left. Left foot turning, left ankle moving. Your breath is still fluid. And you might notice the sides differ from each other. And then we'll go the other direction, whatever way you haven't gone yet. This particular ankle for me has had a few injuries, so it's a little less smooth than the other side, and that's okay. Just getting moving, getting going, breathing. And a couple more turns with the ankle on this side. From here, plant your left foot down. And you might need to rearrange your hips a little bit, maybe rock a bit from side to side until the pressure of the hips feels fairly even in the bed. And we'll start to wake up through the ankles a little bit more. So see if you could lift all 10 toes up, lift the whole front of your foot up, and kind of just balance on your heels, so digging your heels in. Sometimes we need to dig our heels in life and in our yoga practice. And then soften your whole foot down and then lift up onto your toes so your heels are lifting up. So it's almost like ballerina feet. And then land your whole foot down and we'll alternate sides. So inhale, toes rise. Exhale, toes land. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, heels lower. Breath in, lift the whole front of your foot up. Breath out, soften them down. Inhale, heels rise up. Exhale, soften them down. Just one more each way. Inhale, whole front of the foot rises, heels dig in. Exhale, plant your feet down. Breathe in, lift your heels up. And exhale, lower them down. Both feet plant. So from here, we'll come into a little bit more motion with the hips. Now, see if you can notice the breath in, and then as you exhale, lift your right knee towards the ceiling. So you're lifting your whole foot up, and the shin is parallel towards the ceiling. Then as you breathe in, land your foot down. So we're using the exhale to help stabilize our backs and bellies here a little bit. Notice the breath in. As you exhale, lift your left leg up, knee towards sky, and maybe you wake up your toes to flex in towards your left kneecap. Then as you inhale, let everything come back down. Exhale to lift right leg. So you might start to go a little faster if that feels right. And then inhale, foot lands down. Exhale, left knee rises, toes awake. And inhale, land down. Just a couple more. Exhale, right knee comes up, shin parallel to sky or ceiling. And inhale, foot grounds down. Exhale, left knee rises. And then inhale, come on down. Great. We'll come into a bit of a hip stretch this time. So you can come into reclined butterfly with your soles of feet towards each other and knees wide. Now, if you have a couple extra pillows, you could bring them under your outer thighs or knees for a little extra support. If you're here in this shape and you feel like it's just a really big stretch, it feels pretty uncomfortable, you might choose to do a hip stretch in the opposite direction. So rather than knees going outward, they go inward. So your feet would walk out wide on your bed and your knees would drop inward. And the toes might be a little bit pigeon-toed in. So we're still getting a stretch, but it's just the other way. And whatever way you choose, we'll be here for about 7 breaths. So you have a little bit of time just to notice what you're feeling, notice what's going on in your body. And sometimes you might notice a lot of thoughts go by. Sometimes in those moments when we have a lot of feelings in the body or thoughts in the mind, it can be nice to focus on one thing. So sometimes that's the breath. So if you feel comfortable kind of riding the wave of your breath, focusing your attention on the breath, you could go with that. Or maybe you just notice the feeling of your body supported on the bed. See if you could stay for another moment here, wherever you are. Now, if your knees were wide, you might like to bring your hands to your outer thighs and give your legs a hand. Knees come up. If you're in constructive rest with your knees inward, then start to walk your feet about hips distance apart. We'll do one last stretch. So you can bring your right knee in towards your chest, clasping behind your right knee. And really, you don't have to bring in the knee too far. You can if it feels available right now. If it doesn't, just bring it to wherever it goes. If you need arm extenders, you might even grab a sheet and just use the sheet behind your knee. Staying here for 3 more breaths. Notice your next moment here, your next breath. When you're ready, let your right foot softly land. And we'll switch sides. So this time hug your left leg in towards the chest, holding behind the knee. And again, you might not necessarily clasp the hands behind the knee. You could use a bed sheet or something else to extend your arm length. So we're going for a nice breathable stretch. Just 3 breaths right here. When you feel ready, let your left foot land down. Now, if you feel comfortable here laying on your back with your knees bent, you could stay as you are. If you have a couple pillows, you could put them under your knees for support. Sometimes it's nice to extend the legs out long and allow the legs to soften down. So the feet are apart, a few feet apart, toes are softened and relaxed. You might choose to have your hands on your belly, or maybe even out to the sides with palms up, a few feet away from your hips. Now I'll come upright, but feel free to stay exactly as you are, and I'll guide you through a few minutes of meditation. Start to notice where you have landed. And if you notice that you're in a spot that doesn't feel so comfortable, feel free to wiggle around or find a space that does feel more supportive on your body. If you like, you could close your eyes or just soften your gaze a little bit. And once again, become aware of your body here on the bed, being held and supported by the earth, by gravity. There may be even some people that are supporting you right now. Or maybe you're the one that's supporting some others right now. And then see if you could start to notice the breath moving in and out of your body. And see if you could receive the breath like it's a gift. And let it go as if you're giving. In each direction it flows, it's beautiful in its own way. Giving and receiving freely, openly. And then from time to time, you might notice different thoughts pop up, different feelings, or even sensations in the body. And know that whatever comes up is okay. Whatever arises is allowed. You're allowed to be here just as you are. And see if you could start to notice just your next 3 breaths. You might notice they've changed or they've shifted. Each one might be a little different than the next. From here, you can start to bring a little more movement to your body, so your fingers and your toes might move. If you like, you could rock your head a bit from side to side, or maybe even reach your arms up overhead. adding some more movement or more awareness back to your body. Now, if you like here, you can bring your hands up to the center of your heart space and just stack them on top of each other. And here you might even say thank you to yourself for showing up, for being who you are, however you are right now. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be free from pain and suffering. May you live your life with ease. Let's see if we could take one last breath here together. Just a breath in. And a slow, steady breath out. Hands could come down if they're up. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.